Euromaxx highlights. In today's show, Centennial Celebration. Flowers from Interflora have been delighting recipients for 100 years. Happy Homecoming. German-born Hollywood star Eric Braeden visits his hometown. Berlin Fashion. A club scene DJ now sells trendy clothing with catchy slogans. Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Karen Helmstedt.
Hello there and welcome to our highlights of the week. Well, with a good eye and a desire to bring style to the masses, Angelika Taschen and her husband Benedikt have transformed the Taschen publishing house into a minor empire here in Germany. Angelika Taschen has written a number of the books on interior design herself, and her latest is a return to the French capital Paris, which, as she found, can always be rediscovered.
It might look like she's out for a stroll, but Angelika Taschen is keeping her eyes open. The Berlin-based publisher is on the lookout for unusual Parisian apartments.
That's also an interesting exterior. With its large windows, it looks like it dates from the 30s. No doubt there are some great apartments inside. Maybe some studios. I'd love to take a look.
Angelika has turned her passion for chic interiors into her profession. She's published numerous books about architecture, design, and decoration. She became famous with her interior series. So far, 14 volumes have explored homes in places as diverse as Morocco and New York. The Paris edition is already 8 years old, so this year, Angelika is bringing out a new volume called New Paris Interiors.
Paris in particular has developed a lot in the last 4 to 5 years. There are now a lot of very good internationally renowned design galleries. They've attracted new people to the city, and a new style of living has evolved. I think it has changed a lot, and you can see that in the book.
The new style in the French capital is more individualistic and bold. She finds apartments like this with the help of gallery owner Mathieu Paris and his numerous contacts. He's been able to open doors for her to this flat near the Eiffel Tower. It belongs to Didier Kurtzentowski, the owner of the design gallery Creo. Here, almost every object is a work of art. From the chrome chair to the boat-shaped bathtub.
I've seen a lot of apartments in the world, but here the mixture of art and design is absolutely unique and of very high quality. The designers here, the lamp by Bourulec or the work by Alan McCullum, these are the best pieces by the best designers. And despite that, the place doesn't have a snobbish atmosphere. It's lively.
The view is also impressive, a postcard panorama of Paris. Her next appointment is in the government district in the elegant Place Bourbon in the heart of the city. Here she's expecting something unusual, something out of the ordinary. This is where the American fashion designer Rick Owens and his partner Michel Lamy live and work. The ambiance is typical for Paris's new non-conformist interiors. Most of the furniture is homemade from cheap materials like plywood.
They've created their own world, against every trend and every fashion prescription, a cosmos of their own, a universe, and I really admire that.
It's clear that an apartment like this is made for the pages of New Paris Interiors. The New Paris volume of Interiors provides a lot of new ideas, but Angelika Taschen is already one step ahead of her readers. At the end of the week, her next publication is already due out, featuring New York apartments.
Well, there's nothing nicer than a surprise bouquet of flowers to make somebody's day. And these days, sending one is as easy as pie with an online visit to the Fleurop or Interflora flower shop. And believe it or not, the idea for the world's largest flower delivery network was born 100 years ago, right here in a Berlin flower shop. We look back on a colorful century of saying it with flowers.
White symbolizes purity and elegance, whereas pink has connotations of romance. And yellow represents a certain zest for life. Flowers used to be chosen as a form of code, to communicate what one dared not say in words. Nowadays, flowers are selected more subjectively, but they still convey a message, and they're delivered almost everywhere in the world.
I like giving people flowers because it's always a nice way to make people feel good. It's great seeing them smile, seeing them happy, and that makes you feel good.
Flower Factory is a Berlin florist shop. Carsten Flöter has been boss here for 15 years. But he still approaches each bouquet as a brand new project. And this one's due to surprise a special someone very soon. Carsten's shop is one of hundreds across Germany that belong to the Fleurop Interflora network. Other member shops that receive daily requests in Carsten's area can contact him, and he'll be sure to deliver the flowers at the specified time, which often doesn't leave him much time.
As far as I know, this bouquet is intended for a man, from his wife. She wants to surprise him, and he's only in till 4 o'clock, so I'd better hurry. Good day, I'm from the Flower Factory. I have flowers for you.
Wow, what did I do to deserve this?
Only the sender knows. See ya.
In the early 20th century, sending flowers was already a well-established tradition. But it was Berlin-based florist Max Hübner who first established a delivery network. From 1908, rather than sending his own flowers all the way to Potsdam outside Berlin, he'd simply put in an order with a florist friend of his there.
It must have been such a lovely thought at the time, to be sending flowers from Berlin to Moscow or Rome. But the postal service was a lot slower in those days, and flowers wilt quickly. Hübner said, "I'm going to do it differently." That was a brilliant idea.
Fleurop Interflora is the largest floral network in the world, connecting approximately 50,000 retail florists worldwide in over 150 countries. This is the company headquarters in Berlin. Its 70 staff members take orders over the phone and on the internet and pass them on to local florists. The guiding principle is shorter distances make for fresher flowers. Fleurop Interflora president Ludwig Agnelli is himself a florist, but he also enjoys the role of delivery boy.
The flowers are delivered in person, which makes a real difference. Lots of other florist companies simply send their flowers in boxes. But if their intended recipients aren't at home, the boxes might be redirected. It's all very impersonal.
Interflora sends a bouquet every 8 seconds in Germany. Carsten Flöter has just received another order and heads to the bus stop.
Hello, you must be Hannah. I have Interflora flowers for you. Have a nice day.
And there it is again, a gift of happiness that gives a little happiness in return.
And there was no shortage of happiness at this year's Trentiono Classic. That's an old-timer car rally that's been taking place for 5 years now in northern Italy, in the scenic province of Trentino. Now, over 4 days, a fleet of antique and historical cars travel a 430-kilometer course around Lake Garda. And the nice thing about this one is that it isn't the speed that counts, but rather enjoying the ride.
It's just before the start of the vintage car rally Trentiono Classic in Riva del Garda. 124 historic vehicles in total have come here to the banks of Lake Garda in northern Italy to take part. Karl-Heinz Brosius has traveled here from the southwestern German town of Wiesbaden. He's driven here together with his wife Monika in a Mercedes-Benz convertible from 1952. Only 784 cars of this kind were ever built.
In the past, the kitchen dresser that belonged to your grandmother was considered junk. Today it's valuable. It's the same with cars. It's really nice when old people see the car on the street and ask when the car was built. And you can say, we were both young when the car was made.
The first of the 4 daily legs heads out into the stunning countryside surrounding Riva del Garda. It's a circular route without stopwatch and time pressure. The Brosius couple is taking it easy. It's the third time they've taken part in the tour. Their vehicle is worth approximately 70,000 euros today, but they wouldn't consider selling.
There's something wonderful about driving along slowly in a car at 40 or 50 kilometers an hour, or even more slowly at times. You've got the roof open, you can smell the grass while the hay is being made. You can smell the wood and see the sky, the mountains, the sun.
Drivers stop off at various points along the way to get a stamp. But there's still plenty of time to enjoy the Dolce Vita.
I didn't used to like traveling with the roof down, but I really enjoy it now. I'm just as much a freak as him.
Some of the vehicles are almost 100 years old. The mountains are quite an exacting test for the cars, as well as for their drivers. There's no such thing as power-assisted steering or brake boosters here. The drivers are rewarded with northern Italian specialities. The head of the German Automobile Association, ADAC, Peter Meyer, is the patron of the event, as well as a participant.
It is not intended to be a classic car race, a rally with points and certain tests to pass. We wanted to promote a more relaxed approach, and that's why we're supporting a vintage car tour, the idea of touring.
It's a discovery of the joys of going slow, and of picturesque places such as Rovereto with its population of 35,000.
The landscape, the hospitality, the old palazzi. You get a chance to speak to people. Often they speak German. We feel at home here. And the wine is excellent, and the food is great. We could happily stay here. It's beautiful.
The vintage car enthusiasts enjoying a stretch of road in Trentino. The rally ends on Saturday, but many classic car owners hope to come back again.
That will speed things up just a wee bit. It's pretty typical for disc jockeys to work well into the night and catch up on their sleep during the daytime. But Berlin-based Timo Röpke seems to be active 24/7. Whilst spinning records in Berlin's coolest nightclubs as DJ Ultimo, he can check out what people are wearing, and this inspires him during the day to design clothes for his own label and called Look 54. Well, meanwhile, he's got 6 shops and expansion plans for around Europe. So here's the story behind the story.
Timo Röpke carries the Brandenburg Gate around with him, plastered on his back. On another item of clothing, he's immortalized Berlin's Victory Column. The German capital is never far from Timo Röpke's mind when he designs items for his fashion label.
I've been in the city for 11 years. I came to love it relatively quickly. The fashion scene was already quite developed with several labels. But you often couldn't tell that the clothes were made in Berlin. They could have been from London or Tokyo or Barcelona. I wanted to change that.
Röpke grew up in a small town on Germany's Baltic coast. He wanted to become a disc jockey. Today, the 33-year-old manages a small Berlin-based fashion label called Look 54. The company has 6 shops of its own. Röpke's elegant streetwear is decorated with printed motifs, embroidery, and rhinestones. The distinctive clothing is popular with both tourists and proud Berliners alike. It's designed to make you stand out. Röpke also works in a nightclub on Berlin's famous Kurfürstendamm Boulevard. He's known as DJ Ultimo and specializes in house music. His fashion career also began here in Berlin's club scene. The extravagant dress of clubgoers inspired him to start his own fashion label.
As a DJ, you're positioned in a relatively central place. You've got a good view over the dance floor. The people dancing are usually the most expressive ones in the place, and they wear the most flamboyant clothing. So you can get a good idea of what kinds of clothes people wear in clubs.
Röpke had his first big fashion hit in 2002 with a tracksuit top with Berlin written across it. Even the city's mayor, Klaus Wowereit, bought one. Label 54 still sells the Berlin jacket, but most of the label's clothing has become a bit more upmarket.
I rarely look back, and I don't stand still. The label's got to keep developing, just like the city. We're a fashion effigy of Berlin, and Berlin doesn't stand still.
Last night, a DJ saved my life. The slogans often serve as icebreakers in clubs. In Look 54, Timo Röpke has found a perfect way to combine his 3 great passions: music, fashion, and Berlin.
Well, staying with music, Nikolai Tokarev is one of the latest virtuosos to come out of Russia. The 25-year-old pianist from Moscow makes the critics literally swoon as they grapple for superlatives. And he'll be receiving Germany's coveted Echo Classic Award next month in Munich. Well, that's all on the steam of his first album, which was released just last year. His second is about to hit the shelves in Germany, and it's goosebumps guaranteed.
This is Gaspard de la Nuit by French composer Maurice Ravel. Nikolai Tokarev is recording his new CD in Berlin. French album is true to its title. It's an exclusively French repertoire. With his musical dexterity, Nikolai can reach breathtaking tempos. His talent earned him a place at this year's prestigious Ruhr Piano Festival held in the German city of Essen. Nikolai opened the event with his rendition of Franz Liszt's Piano Sonata in B minor. The piece is no easy undertaking, crescendoing to a veritable explosion of notes. But the young pianist never shies away from a musical challenge. He says music is his life.
Music is always living inside of me. When I sleep, sometimes music sounds in my head, and when I walk, it's also just part of me. So all the things I do when I play, it's my personal feeling and what I think, and every moment it can change. Every moment, actually, I play every time differently.
Nikolai's life story sounds like something out of a fairy tale. He was born into a musical family, his father a concert pianist and his mother a cellist. At the age of only 6, Nikolai gave his concert debut in Moscow. At 14, he was already touring Europe and Japan. Today, Nikolai is touring the whole world, and he seems to enjoy every minute of it. Back in the studio, Nikolai devotes his full attention to the task. This time to a gavotte from French Baroque composer Jean-Philippe Rameau, also for his new album. In April last year, Nikolai Tokarev released his debut album Number 1, featuring works by Schubert, Chopin and Alexander Rosenblatt. Now he's due to receive the German Echo Classical 2008 award as Best Newcomer. But the young star remains modest about his achievements.
I don't think about that. I don't feel myself like a pop star. Well, no.
Nikolai's latest achievement is scheduled for release this week. From October, he'll be touring Germany, after which he's looking forward to a much-deserved time out.
And the need for a little time out was what brought Eric Braeden back to Germany. He's a huge star in the United States, and for all those afternoon soap opera fans, one of those guys you love to hate. Eric Braeden plays the role of Victor Newman in the classic soap The Young and the Restless. But he actually has even one other AKA as Hans-Jörg Gudegast from Bredenbeck in Germany. In fact, this man is only the second German after Marlene Dietrich to be given his own star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, which doesn't prevent him from enjoying a little down-to-earth break.
A Hollywood star comes to town. Eric Braeden is given a warm welcome in Hamburg. He left the northern German city 50 years ago for the U.S. Now the celebrity is back and is given the honor of signing Hamburg's Golden Book. This is where he grew up, north of the Hanseatic port in Bredenbeck. Thatched roofs are traditional here. The village is home to 1,300 people. For his old friends, he's not the American TV star Eric Braeden, but Hans-Jörg Gudegast, or Honey for short.
Herzlich willkommen in Bredenbeck. Got that? Oh, Honey, we got that. Herzlich willkommen in Jung.
Every 2 years, Eric Braeden comes to visit. He enjoys relaxing with friends over a glass of decent schnapps. They talk a lot about the past, growing up together in the post-war years. The actor still feels very attached to his home village. Hence his stage name, Eric Braeden.
My hometown means a lot to me. Bredenbeck means an awful lot to me. This was my playground. This is where I grew up. I lived here for 18 years. You never forget that. They're the most enduring impressions that there are.
Eric Braeden is a soap star in the U.S. In The Young and the Restless, he plays the ruthless industrialist Victor Newman. The series has been broadcast in more than 50 countries. In 1997, he received an Emmy for his performance in the show. It's not just his friends. The whole village is proud of his achievements in the TV and film business in the U.S. So proud, in fact, that Eric Braeden has been made an honorary citizen of Bredenbeck.
Although he's now an internationally renowned actor, he's remained a Bredenbecker at heart, just a normal person like everyone else here in Bredenbeck. And I think it's brilliant the way he always returns to his roots. He's a great mate.
This is where Eric Braeden used to kick around the ball as a teenager. It brings back memories of a tough time.
It was the only thing to look forward to at the time. Many people forget just how hard the post-war years were in Germany. You lived in a constant state of financial difficulty. Sport was a way of recovering from these difficulties, mentally too. I won't forget it.
In the cinema blockbuster Titanic, he played a rich passenger. Just one of more than 120 roles he's played in film and television. In 2007, he was immortalized with a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, only the second German ever. But on a stroll around Bredenbeck, show business seems a very long way away.
Here I can just switch off from the stress that you obviously have with the work in Hollywood, Los Angeles.
In Hollywood, Los Angeles.
I was recently in Bucharest, Romania. In 2 weeks I'll be in Paris for the show. I'm always rushing around. When I come here, I completely relax.
Eric Braeden is one of the most famous Germans in Hollywood, but in his northern German hometown, he can just be Hans-Jörg Gudegast again and enjoy the peace and quiet.
Well, that's it for this week on our highlights. But if you'd like to see any of those reports again, remember you can find them on YouTube and just go to the website that's currently blended in on the screen. That's all for now, and until we meet again, bye-bye and take care.